What's up, YouTube? We're here at Makaha Beach for the Rel Sun Menehune contest. The waves are firing right now. Got the lifeguards on duty. You just missed like the biggest set of the day just came in. Everyone is freaking out right now. And we're here with All Good Sunscreen. So All Good Sunscreen is a reef-friendly sunscreen, and we're here in the booth talking about the sunscreen. Keely's here. We have a beautiful tent set up, and I'm going to be asking her a few questions about the sunscreen and how it benefits the reef.
Not benefits, how does it harm?
Okay, so
how it doesn't harm the reef.
How it doesn't harm the reef. So
Yeah.
let's start with what is the issues with like regular sunscreen on the market?
Well, the issues is in about 90% of sunscreens on the market today, they use chemicals to make basically what protects you against A and B rays. So it's kind of, they use oxybenzone, which is the most leading cause of like killing the reefs and killing humans' endocrine systems. And then oxynate. There's about 5 other harmful chemicals. So they're just really dangerous chemicals. And they somehow got like passed through the FDA in like the 70s. They were like grandfathered in.
Yeah.
Before there was research that was done on them. And now in the last 30 years, the research was, they knew in 10 years ago, but just now people are starting to be conscious of it because they finally proved that it kills the reefs.
Yeah.
So,
and you said it harms like your endocrine system too. Like, what is your endocrine system?
your endocrine system is basically what helps you reproduce,
Okay.
right?
Like your hormones.
Yeah,
and,
your
like,
hormone levels.
and that's pretty harmful, like with kids, especially. I would imagine.
Especially with kids. So Dr. Craig Downs told me that if they put like a chemical-based sunscreen on a baby, about an hour later he would have a hormone level of a 12-year-old.
A 12-year-old.
Yeah, a baby.
A baby changing their hormone level
Yeah.
to a 12-year-old.
And yeah, just from sunscreen.
Just from sunscreen. That's pretty gross.
So basically, this doctor has been trying to fight the skincare industry to try to get it out of humans' products, like skincare products, but the skincare industry is like fighting the NRA.
Yeah.
So it's like the amount of money that he didn't have to fight the skincare industry, he wasn't getting anywhere. So he's from Hilo, Hawaii. So he decided, well, let's prove that it kills reefs.
Yeah.
And take it another direction because he was getting nowhere from trying to prove that it hurt humans. And so they proved that one drop in 6 Olympic pools can kill the endocrine system of the reef.
One drop.
One drop.
So how much? Like one drop of sunscreen or
One
what?
drop of oxybenzone.
That's insane.
Yeah, and so now they're doing water testing, of course, in Hawaii, and we have, so many parts per billion in just our water. If we went out and tested the water here, maybe Makaha doesn't have a lot because kids don't use sunscreen that much here, but Waikiki, Hanauma Bay, Waimea, UH is doing water testing. We just tested Hanauma Bay. We sent away the testing to Spain, so we haven't gotten it back yet. But mostly, I mean, it's going to be off the charts.
I can imagine, like, they're doing a lot of, like, legislature for, like, to try to get a bill passed, right?
Yeah. So the bill is to ban oxybenzone and oxynate.
So that bill would affect all of the Hawaiian Islands?
Yeah. That's a good question, actually. I know Maui has a different legislation process and time than we do. Maui and obviously Lanai County, theirs is one of the same. And then Oahu's got a different one. So Oahu is going through right now. But if they ban it in the state of Hawaii, this is why it's so important. Because if they ban it in the state of Hawaii, which will be the first state to ban these 2 toxic chemicals in sunscreen, then the skincare industry won't be able to ignore it as a whole. And it'll be like a revolution.
I would imagine because, like, people use sunscreen a lot here. Like,
Yeah.
it's hot, probably.
Yeah.
The sun here is like the most intense I've ever experienced.
It's a year-round market.
Yeah.
And we have, I think, like 200,000 visitors every week. Or every, like, every week, so it's the amount of people. It's probably one of the biggest sunscreen markets in the world.
I would say so. Like, just in Waikiki, you can walk into any ABC store and you'll see the line of Copper Tone, whatever, all of those, and they all have those toxic
All of them.
chemicals.
I haven't been into ABC or some of those main stores in Waikiki and not seen even one product that doesn't have it in it.
That's pretty insane because, like, you would think, like, oh, this is sunscreen, it's a really well-known brand, it's super safe, but, like, in reality, like, it's just something that was, like, super unregulated to begin with, and they're trying to, like, undo the whole stigma behind it that it's just, like, you know, even safe. Like, that should be, like,
Should be automatic.
yeah, it should be automatic. You wouldn't think, like,
You shouldn't
oh,
have to
this...
think that something you're buying in the store to protect your skin from cancer is actually, one, killing your hormones, destroying, like, causing infertility, and not only that, but possibly causing cancer.
Yeah, you would think, like, the thing you're using to try to stop cancer, you know, so what about All Good is different from these sunscreens, so they don't have all the toxic chemicals?
Yeah, they use non-nano zinc oxide, which is a natural mineral. So, and non-nano zinc oxide is the best protector you can get because it actually protects, it creates a barrier, a layer, and it's natural mineral, and it's non-nano, so it means your skin's not going to absorb it.
So non-nano means, like, it's just sitting on top.
Non-nano particles.
Non-nano particles.
So it's not going to be, it's not broken up enough to be absorbed into the skin. Because you probably don't want to be absorbing that amount of zinc into your skin, even though it is natural mineral and you probably have it in your body anyway. Maybe a little bit is fine, but you're not going to want to absorb that amount of zinc into your body.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, what else is in this sunscreen?
So,
Just like the zinc and
also, they started making their company with goop, which was that organic olive oil infused with the herbs. It's right here.
there it is. So,
And so they just, beyond the zinc that they protect, they also put stuff in your sunscreen that's going to moisturize your skin. It's going to heal your skin, and then it's going to, nourish it, especially after sun care. So the kids' sunscreen has chamomile in it, and then all the sunscreens has calendula in it, which is grown on their organic farm in California, and calendula is like a natural herb, healing herb.
So they have this farm in California, and basically, like, they use it to, like, grow all these, like, ingredients. These herbs, because, like, pretty much all of their products feature, like, an herb or infusion. So, like,
like their lip balm is my favorite. It's pretty much the goop, what they started their company on, but it has SPF in it, so it has some zinc oxide, 3.5% of zinc. And this is why most of the organic sunscreens aren't in, like, Longs and Target, because you have to go through the regulation, the FDA regulation, which each different UPS code or UPC code basically costs a lot of money to get FDA approved. So this is what is their FDA, like, everything has to be on it.
yeah.
So this one label costs like $1.50.
Wow.
Yeah, so most of the organic sunscreens that you see in stores, like the small ones and, like, and all this stuff, like, I mean, they just don't put these in Longs because you have to go through a pretty big process to be able to get to the mass consumers. So we're excited because All Good has been around for 19 years, and now they are in this process. So there's only a few different brands. I think Badger is one. There's some other brands that are out there that are doing this. Raw Elements is also a great authentic brand. But you can read all the inactive ingredients, everything in there is going to be good for you. And that's the hence of the name of the company. It's All Good.
All Good.
Like, they kept always asking people, well, what's in it? What's in it? And the owners were like, well, it's all good. It's all good for you. It's all good for you. So then that's hence the name. It's All Good.
All Good. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So they're trying to sort of like shift the market of sunscreens, and so like we're shifting away from the chemical-based sunscreens, basically shifting to like an organic, all good product that's at a comparable price to like the chemical-based.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You know, people are used to spending like $4 on a huge amounts of chemicals. They're gonna have to spend $15 now. You know, granted it's not $50 like some of the other organic, and it's been hard. So they're coming at the market with trying to make it, reasonable for everybody. Actually, this one's $8.
Yeah.
So,
and they last for a while. Like this stick, like you're not putting it on your whole body really. This is just maybe like for your face, and your hands or something.
And really, like the best protection you're gonna have is coverage.
Yeah.
Like wearing long sleeve shirts, wearing tights, going out and surfing. So really, I use most of my sunscreen for my face anyway.
Yeah.
It's not very often that I'm putting it all over my body. Maybe today, obviously, we put it on our arms and stuff, and our hands.
Yeah, especially when you're surfing, like you don't want it to be super greasy.
Yeah.
On your board, but definitely like for those with fairer skin, like sunscreen is important. And like you said, people are used to buying really cheap sunscreen, and they're basically you're basically having to like retrain them to understand like the value isn't in the value is in the product and the fact that it's not harming you, and also the reef. So today we're at this booth at the surf contest talking to kids and asking them to take the pledge to only use reef-friendly sunscreen for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, for the rest of their lives. And it's really cool because right now in the state of Hawaii, like you said, legislation, so the bill got passed through the environmental committee or one committee, and now it's through the finance committee. So we need people to write in testimony, call their legislator, and say to hear the bill, because they could also just not hear it. And this is where bills die. It's like they're there, but they're so busy, nobody asked them to hear it, so they're not even going to have a hearing. But if you call into your legislator and you're like, we want to have a hearing, or we want you to hear this bill, and it's at the finance committee right now, so it's kind of an important committee to be calling.
So when should people be calling?
Now, actually.
Okay, so let's give people the information.
I have to look it up.
So basically, we're at the booth right now. We're not selling any sunscreen. We're just here giving kids free sunscreen. People are coming over to the booth just to sunscreen up. It's a bit of an overcast day today, but like people are still getting sunburn, of course. It's why like you can still get sunburn through the clouds. And right now, Keely's looking up bill information. So
yeah, you basically want to email your chair Luke and chair Lee, Chris Lee, and then Luke. Sylvia Luke is her name.
Her name is Sylvia Luke.
And let me see if there's numbers and emails on here. Basically, I get all my information from two websites, Surfrider.com, and you can go to Facebook, Oahu Surfrider, and follow them, or there's one called BanToxicSunscreens.com. And they're pretty good at putting out information of when things are being cleared. Right now, Chair Luke, you can call her in person at 808-586-6200. You can also email her at repluke@capital.hawaii.gov. So yeah, it's repluke@capital.hawaii.gov.
Yeah, so all of that info you can also find on the Surfrider Oahu website. The Surfrider Oahu website, and it would be really beneficial if you could give them a call or shoot them an email, because if this bill is heard and gets passed, like
then you don't have to worry about it. Then you can kind of hope that most of the sunscreens are gonna comply if they have to.
Yeah, so like maybe it'll even change the sunscreen industry. So like where these chemical-based sunscreens are, switching to more natural ingredients, because they're not going to want to lose this market, and the main focus of this is to protect the reef and protect the people from damage to their bodies.
And we're already seeing some sunscreen shifting right now that are they're out there a lot. They might not be like in ABCs and stuff like that, but you're seeing them a lot in surf stores. They're starting to see the conversation of oxybenzone and oxynate come up, so they are shifting. So even though they're not banned yet, those chemicals, other sunscreen companies are hearing already the chatter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's important. Like, I feel kind of like wronged in a way, like that. I've used sunscreen since I was a kid. Like, my mom and grandma would rub it all over me. And I don't know, like.
Well, they didn't know, and you know, some of these sunscreen companies maybe didn't know either. It's not like they get the science. They're going to the manufacturers and saying, "Hey, we're making a sunscreen. What can you give us to make a sunscreen?" These manufacturers like, well, you can make it cheaply like this with all these chemicals, or you can make it mineral based with all these awesome organic minerals, but your price point is going to be this. And then so they just use these chemicals. It's like high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah, I agree with that analogy totally. Just like, maybe they didn't really know at first, and it's just like accepted by the market at this point. So
that's what I have to believe, because I'm like, nobody can actually believe that
it would
they
do
know
this much
it was
harm. But there's a lot of people who are really passionate about this, because living on an island, like, our reef is our ecosystem. Like, if the reef dies, like, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
The fish will die, sharks will
The
get
finals.
hungry. Like, it's going to cause a lot of problems.
in third place.
I mean, if we
In
have to,
second
and every,
place,
you know, the
Lulu
conversation with a lot of
Conde.
people is like,
Taking second and winning
well, why are you guys fighting this? Because what about climate change? What about fertilizers? What about runoff? And they're like, this doesn't matter. They think that it's sunscreen companies that actually don't, that are trying to make a profit bringing this up. But it's really not, because it's coming from the scientists, and they're like, this is a straw that we can fix. You know, the straw that broke the camel's back?
who I called the top three
This could be
goes
the
to the
straw that breaks
finals.
the camel's back. So
Girls,
it's like, if we can
Shark
control
Bar,
it,
10
let's
and 12.
control it. Like, we might not be able to
So,
control
Coco,
climate change at a quicker
Lulu
rate
Villa,
as we would like.
And Malia,
But this we can.
you're in the finals. Congratulations.
Yep, so
Why not? You
Why
can't
not?
ignore it.
All right, again,
Well, we're here
we're
with
blessed to
All
have
Good, talking to people
Anheuser-Busch
at
finalists.
the surf contest. I'll show you the waves.
We're going to be giving away a lot of prizes.
I already have
Participation. Hey, go up
20%
there,
phone
she'll
battery
talk to you guys about
because of this live
a
video.
lot of things about drinking responsible, underage
Right now,
drinking.
let's say bye to Keely.
You know,
Bye, Keely.
just a
You're
lot
the
about
best.
education about, you know, alcoholism and stuff like that.
So,
but we'll see Peggy.
We're gonna
She's
walk
right
you over
here
to the
with
waves.
Johnny
The waves
under
are good right
the
now.
main tent.
This wave is a right, which means it goes, like, it
Again,
breaks over
She
here,
has some games to
and
play
then
with, some
you ride it
questions and
this
answers.
way.
We're gonna make this work.
So,
Again,
let's see. Oh, here's the girls going. I think this is girls age 7 to 9. And the waves are super good and glassy right now. So what that means is there's not a lot of wind. So the waves are like sheets of glass. They're perfect, perfectly rippable. Like every single with their parents, because these are the young girls, 7 to 9. Look at that wave. It's freaking amazing. They picked an amazing day to do this. All those girls are stoked. So like their parents are out there swimming with the fins, pushing them into waves, and they're all wearing different colored jerseys so you could tell them apart. This beach is really famous for its backwash. So the waves will come in and like the water will get sucked back out. And while people are riding the waves in, the backwash will hit the wave and like make a little clapping sound, and people will get launched. Well, there's no set right now, but we're gonna sign off. It was great going live with you, and we'll be covering some more environmental topics soon, and obviously skate videos as well. So, bye.